Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I have been issued yet another challenge here in Mario Maker. I know it's been several months since last I recorded a video, but here we are. Your code, should you wish to play along, is XGML61TSG. The goal of this challenge is to just complete the level, which, as you may have seen, has 2 out of about 2,500 clears. So, yeah. Very, very low clear rate, like a 8%, or not, 0.08, I think it was, something like that. I've played this one before, you know, this level is many moons old. And the main obstacle to the clear is the obstacle right before the first checkpoint. It's a whole bunch of buzzsaws that, frankly, I don't know how to deal with. It's such a tight window that it basically feels like luck to get through, but we'll give it a try. You know, I have very, very much free time this week. Fortunately, if you've been paying attention to my streams, you'll know that this particular week has been extremely busy. Like, you know, normally I've been streaming like about 4 hours, 4 days a week. Had to cut that in about half just because of homework. So I'm excited, proud, you might say, to have gotten through my homework for the week, because frankly I thought I was gonna fucking die. It was rough. So here's the thing, right? Like, I am in junior year now. You know, this is the third week of classes. I'm in junior year of my engineering degree, and junior year comes with a whole bevy of troubles. I wish that it were not the case, but alright, send it. Oh, we got him. Let's go. Yeah, so this obstacle, well, right after this thing, those buzzsaws are the main obstacle here. Fuck. But yeah, so junior year comes with a whole bevy of problems. You know, mostly in the form of homework. Just everything has been going nuts, let me tell you. So, you know, I have 5 classes, 15 credit hours. That's the standard amount. That's what I've had basically every single semester up to this point. Like, I think my most has been 16, and that was just once because one of the mandatory classes also had like a lab that you had to go through afterward, or like concurrently. So, you know, not having any labs is really, well, I got one lab, but it barely counts as a lab. It's all online. Not having any in-person labs is really nice because, you know, a lot of the times you know, this is something that colleges won't tell you about before you head off to them. Most of the time, the in-person labs are incredibly inconvenient. You know, if they're not 8 a.m. to 11, they're like 7 to 10 p.m. It takes way too much time, and they're never at good hours. So, like, not having any of those means that I can sit down and just chunk through a whole bunch of work all in one go. And I'll actually have some free time at the end of the week. So, like, you know, usually my weekly schedule, from what it appears based on, like, the syllabi, it seems that usually Friday is going to be the day that most work is due. And this week, 2 of my engineering professors, who are in the same department, mind, so, like, they're in contact with each other nonstop. Like, I'll go so far as to claim that they planned this out, maybe just a little bit. Like, the people in this department, they have such common communications that, like, you know, one of the students in one class said, "Hey, professor, between you and this other guy, who has better taste in music?" And obviously the professor was like, "Well, me, of course." And then in the next class they did the same. And of course that guy was like, "Well, yeah, my music taste is great. His sucks." And so they set up like a poll, kind of, every week from here on out. They're going to be posting like one song to the blackboard, which we can watch and then vote on which one is better, so that we can get some scientific data on whose taste in music is better, right? And that's cool. That's cool and all. Like, they're fun professors, but two of the three, not the two with the music thing going on, but, you know, they're in the same department, which means they're going to be communicating all the time. Two of the professors assigned projects that took several hours this week, and one was due on Monday, which, you know, is fine. Like, I'm alright with Monday projects, because it means I have the weekend to work on them, right? Whoa. Weird. That Spiny was coming in way faster than normal. I'm fine with Monday projects, because you know, the weekend you have plenty of time to work on things, but the trouble is, it took like 8 to 10 hours, and part of that was my fault, because the crux of the assignment was to get, like, how shall we say, it was to do like a miniature research report, or literature review on research that you've done, and I have done no research. That is something that I'm supposed to be thinking about doing, you know, by the end of junior year I should have that well underway. Which means that I need to, like, actually think about that instead of, you know, playing Mario Maker. But here we are anyway, right? But yeah, so I've done no research. And, like, they were like, okay, well, pick a research topic that interests you and find some data, get a graph, make a map, that sort of deal. So, like, that in and of itself isn't too hard. The real trouble lies in, you know, getting a topic that has data that's easy to map, I suppose. And by the time I figured out what I wanted to do with it, it was already, you know, I'd spent, like, that's unfortunate. I'd spent, like, you know, 3 hours on just finding the data and compiling it all into a usable format. Then I had to go and make a map. That's an extra hour off your time. Then you gotta, like, go find some literature to review in your literature review. Crazy how that works out, right? And so, you know, it was like 8 hours of work or something. And so that made it so that, like, I couldn't get the normal amount of other work that I do on the weekend, because I like to stay ahead. You know, I try and stay about 4 days, 3-4 days worth ahead on work, and if I have projects coming up in the next, like, you know, half week that I haven't already gotten mostly complete, I start stressing. And, you know, so normally that's what the weekend is for, is to just get, like, the first half of the week's worth of work done. Yo, this is what I'm talking about right here. How do we get through these saws? So it's gotta be, like, when they're halfway overlapped. That's when you send the high jump. That was bad. That was really bad. But yeah, so, like, you know, now that I've gotten the week's worth of work done, with the exception of, like, a quiz that I have to take by tomorrow at midnight, we're good. You know, everything's fine. It was just stressful in the moment, so I'm very happy to, like, have the free time once again to actually go through and play video games and enjoy playing video games and not feel like I've got the weight of the world crushing down on me, you know? I am but a college student. I'm no Atlas. I don't want to have, you know, 24 hours straight worth of homework ahead of me. Especially not when I can, you know, procrastinate and not do that. It's not really procrastinating if you're, you know, getting work done ahead of time so that you can then procrastinate, right? Like, I don't know. I'm a little type A about that, I suppose. You know, the type A, type B dichotomy. Type A is, like, super aggressive and planning ahead about everything, gets the goals done, whereas B is a little more lackadaisical, happy-go-lucky. Neither is bad. Neither is bad. You know, they both have their positives and negatives. Type A, you know, it tends to get stuff done in advance, but is also, like, super stressed out about everything. Very irritable. Whereas Type B tends to be, you know, chill. And I try to be chill. I try to be chill and still work ahead. But, you know, I can only really chill out when I have, like, less than 5 things to do. And I include streaming as, you know, one, if not more of those things to do. Otherwise, I start going, oh, I'm busy. I am busy. And, man, you know, another thing. So, tomorrow, my father and his folks, his crew, are going to get their, like, portrait done, right? They're taking, like, some professional photographs, and I believe my stepmother wants to have them, like, painted afterward, though I'm not entirely certain about that. I don't know why else you would get professional family photographs done. But so he called me up, like, 2 days ago, or yesterday even, yeah, like yesterday night, and he was like, hey, are you gonna be coming down for this? And it's like a 3-hour drive, right? And I have classes at it's like 12:30 to 1:45, something like that is my last class of the day on Fridays. So I've got classes already. And he's like, so yeah, we're doing this this picture thing at 3 o'clock. Are you gonna be there? And I'm like, I got class when I would need to be leaving for that. And he was like, oh, well, it's online, right? And I'm like, yeah, you know, every class more or less, with the exception of one on Tuesdays, is online because my university has done a terrible job of prepping for this pandemic. And so we're up from 40 cases at the start of the school year 3 weeks ago to about 1,200 right now. So yeah, you know, I'm not really trying to go to that many in-person classes. But he was like, well, since it's online, just, you know, put it on a podcast style. Just set your phone down, turn the volume up, and listen to it as you drive. And I'm like, it's not that simple. It's not that simple, dude. My teacher is the type to call on you in the middle of your lecture. You know, he'd be like, hey, what is the answer to this? And if you've got it on podcast style, you might know the answer, but you can't, like, reach over in the middle of driving and be like, ah, yes, teacher. The answer is x squared to the power of 7. X to the 14th is how that works out. That's not even, you know, remotely close to what an answer for that class would be like, but you get the picture. You can't reach over and turn on your microphone, and you can't have your microphone on at all times, otherwise the entire class would be privy to your car noises, and that's just rude. You can't do that shit, you know? And on top of that, I had, like, a huge project due Friday at 5. So I ended up declining, which is unfortunate because, you know, as many issues as I have with with my father's side of the family, I do like seeing them. I do enjoy coming back down, albeit only for a day or two at a time. You know, they're pleasant to have at arm's length, shall we say. And honestly, that's how I feel about most family. Like, my younger siblings, I care about and try and keep in contact with them. But, like, as for the rest of the crew, God damn! How do you do it? How do you do it? I want the video records. I want to know how those 2 people out of 2,000-some-hundred attempts cleared that. That's insanity. And I'm sure that, like, half of those are me. From the... like, because like I said, this track is probably 3 months old or something like this, maybe 4. It came from beginning, if not midsummer. And it is shown up on my stream on numerous occasions. So I'm sure that I, in my madness, have deigned fit to die about 500 times yet on this track. I mean, y'all will recall those other videos I posted of one of the previous levels in the old Spin Jump Saga. And I must admit, I do enjoy these types of levels. There's something beautiful about the frustration, right? And I hate how that makes me sound, but it's true. I know what that makes me sound like. But like, you know, it is man versus God. This right here. In its most primal form. I, the man, versus God, the creator of this level. And this God is an angry God. This God has seen fit to make a world filled with spikes and liberals. What is a man to do? What is a man to do but his utmost? You know, I'll never unironically say anything about the human condition. So allow me to ironically say, we really live in a society. A society where gamers like myself are marginalized by the 1%, while hoarding all of the gold medals. I ask you, is this fair? Man, I've been, So, those of y'all in the meme know, the memetic know, might know about Clone High seems to be resurfacing over the last few days. And I respect it. You know, it seems a fun show from what I've seen of the clips. But what really gets me is the John F. Kennedy. So the general premise of Clone High, for the uninitiated, is that the show revolves around clones of famous historical figures. See, you know, Joan of Arc, Gandhi, John F. Kennedy, Abraham Lincoln. Pretty sure there are a few other presidents in there. Cleopatra is one. You know, lots of historical names that you should know if you've picked up a history book ever. Or even if you haven't. Fuck! But they're all caricatures of themselves in one way or another, or subversions of the plot. You know, like Gandhi, the clone, knows that he will never be as self-actualized, I suppose, as righteous as the original Gandhi, so he just kind of gives up on trying and is just a general asshole. I say asshole, he seems alright, but like, alright in like a middle school sort of way, not really a well-developed person kind of way. John F. Kennedy is a womanizer who talks kind of like this. He's got that slick Boston accent. I like it. I'm not gonna like actually dedicate the time to go out and finding the episodes online or watching any other show in general, really. But it seems cool. Dude, I hate cannon jumps. I hate cannon jumps so much. Anything that requires precision timing can eat my whole entire butthole. I think this is the timing we need. Yeah! Ah! But as before, this level comes with a wager of many a dollar. And I hate to be one to disappoint, you know? The man behind this level, our boy, has bet me stuff in the past, and always comes through on his word. I have learned he is a trustworthy gambling individual. And it's not really gambling so much as he wants to see me suffer, right? Like, I had a Risk of Rain stream about, I guess, a week ago, in which I said something to the effect of, like, I like canned mushrooms. If they were, you know, if they were the last food on Earth, would I eat them? Yes. Possibly I would enjoy. I would maybe not enjoy the taste, but at least appreciate the fact that I have food. And he was like, all right, bet. $30. Get yourself a can of canned mushrooms and chug it. And I did. And it was awful. The taste was bland and salty. You know, it tasted not quite like a salt lick. I've had a salt lick in the past. They're weird. But, you know, it's pure salt. What do you expect, right? It was like a dirty salt lick. It was like a salt lick that someone had shoved a whole bunch of dust into and then stirred until it was all like chewy rather than, you know, liquid and powder, respectively. It tasted like a jello or a pudding made of salt and dust. It was kind of gross. It was kind of gross. But hey, $30 is $30, dude, you know? Oh dear. My roommate is playing piano in the background. Alright, timing. Give it like one mid-jump. I don't like it. There we go. Okay. So all we gotta do is just brute force it until we find a way past these saws. And that's gonna be tough. Those saws are brutal, man. I legitimately do not understand how the fresh hell you're supposed to get through them. Because, like, the window is essentially exactly as wide as Mario is. Which means that even a microsecond to one side or another, you know, too early or too soon. Too early or too soon? Too soon or too late? There we go. English language. Believe it or not, I am a fluent speaker. Right. This is the window. That won't do it. I don't understand. I don't understand! How do you do it? The window is nigh on non-existent. Non-existent, whatever the word is. I don't know. I've spent so much of my brain power on homework and trying to beat this fucking level. I can't figure out basic words anymore. You see what you've done to me? You've turned me into an illiterate. This is what college does, people. This is what college does. It turns you from a young man with brilliant prospects to an illiterate gamer. With brilliant prospects. That's right. We're all gonna make it someday, boys. Fuck! How? How do you do it? I don't know. Oh, but the problem with this level, and, you know, levels like it, is that it always it's not gonna do it. For me, anyway, it always boils down to, like, it's just one more good run. One more good run, we got it, you know? We have all of the skills required to make it there. Except the very last hurdle that we don't know how to clear. That's it. That's all that remains for us. And I'm told that once we clear that, we're home free. You know, essentially, this is the hardest obstacle, bar none. Possibly that the man behind this has ever created, to be honest with you. And I am wondering if maybe you just send it, dude. Maybe you just stop waiting. Maybe the lurk is our downfall here. But that might be a story for another time, another day. It remains to be seen. Because, like, once we get the midpoint, we're set, right? We're golden. Mwah, beautiful. Chef's kiss. Au revoir to our troubles and our fears. Hakuna Matata. Why are you going fast? You know, that's what always got me about like games like Mario Maker, games like Celeste, where it's tough, but you always feel like you're just inches away from the goalposts. You know, just a little focused, concerted effort on your part, and you're there, right? Dude, I'm telling you, like, maybe if we just go a little faster, we have it. Just quit beating around the bush and send it. That's not gonna do it. That's not gonna do it. That's always fun. Just completely missing the spiny. My God. I'm telling you, I start forgetting words faster than I learn them. Early onset dementia, and I can blame college for it. You know, honestly, it's my fault. There's no one to blame but myself for my habits. You know, like I can say, oh, my parents did blah blah blah, and it ingrained blah kind of pattern in me. But at the end of the day, a man is responsible for himself, above all else. You know I should get more sleep. I know I should work harder on my homework. I know I should go exercise and eat vegetables and all that. But I don't want to. It's fun to stay up until 5 a.m. playing, and it's 9:30 as I'm recording this. You know, it is nowhere near 5 a.m. But last night, I stayed up until like 5 a.m. and then I went to bed. I had a class at 7. I slept through the alarm. Actually, I didn't sleep through the alarm. I set it, and apparently, I turned it off, got back in my bed, and fell back asleep. All with no recollection of having done so. You know, like, there's a little switch on this alarm, right? That doesn't turn off on its own. You have to go over and, like, manually flick it. And when I went to bed, the switch was on. When I got out of bed for real, the switch was off. So, like, either I have latent telekinesis, and just it only occurs when I'm asleep, or my body has perfected the art of subconsciously turning off the alarm clock. Both of which scare me, if I'm being honest with you. Because both spell nothing good for my career. If I have to wake up at like 8 to get ready for work every day, well, turning off an alarm clock ain't really it, Chief. It ain't really it. And they say that, like, the teenage circadian rhythm naturally drifts toward the wee hours of the morning and then swings back as you age. But to do that, or to have that happen, you have to, like, you know, make an effort to actually go to bed at a proper time, to set a circadian rhythm. Meanwhile, I'm over here, like, every 5 days or so, going like, hey, what if we just stayed up until the sun came out? Just for the hell of it. And, you know, my body's just kind of screaming at me, no, you idiot! What are you doing? Why are you doing? Haha. Insomnia go brr. But that's life. Anyway, this episode's gone on for 31 minutes already, so I think I'm going to call it here. I'll be back with more whenever the next one goes live. I don't know. See you then.